Good morning.
All right, now get in your corner. Stay over there.
Ooh.
You be good. Be a good girl today.
You seem very patchy.
We're very crooked.
I try to line it up with the table, so even though the phone looks crooked, I feel like it's
kind of weird.
See how it looks on there. Good morning.
Hey, I spent $500 at a private luxury sale, Gucci for Poshmark. Birkin bags. She had 9 Birkin bags. Good job, Lori.
All right, give us just a second. Running behind per usual.
Like,
You still think
Good
we look
morning.
super crooked?
no, we look better on here.
Okay.
It's just, I think it's because it's, why are we like, you see it?
Yeah, it seems super laggy. Let us know if you guys can hear us. On my end, it looks kind of laggy, but I'm not sure if you guys can hear us.
It's a little strange, but it's fine. Good morning. Let's see what we have. Good morning. Good morning. Can't wait. Sorry we're late. Ha ha ha. Rhymed. Good morning, kids. Oh, I feel good. Kid now.
Everyone says they can hear us coming in loud and clear. Okay, if that changes, let us know. We've been having some issues with our Wi-Fi here at the office. Nikki just had to reset it again. Don't know what's going on. About to call Spectrum.
I'm about to blow it up.
We'll have to see. So, good morning. Not the same quality as normal, but it will work. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure what the deal is.
Good morning. Nisa's here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she said it was great to meet you last week. It was so nice meeting you. I had such a good time. You said that, and I was like, wait.
I haven't posted that video yet.
Good morning from Wyoming, Montana again.
All right.
Somebody did say the video seems to be lagging.
Yeah, I see it here on my end too, but I can't tell what the issue is. So we're going to press forward and pray that we don't get disconnected. But we are here to answer your questions. If you guys have any topics you want to chat about, you can just put them in the comments down below. If you have any questions, put those down below. As a reminder, the easiest way for us to see your question is if you put those down below. As a reminder, the easiest way.
I was just making sure your voice didn't come out like.
If you put a bunch of question marks or in all caps or type question, you know, something to kind of alert us.
Emojis are my favorite.
We do have a lot of people that get on. We usually have over 200 people on, sometimes close to 300, and it's just really easy to get lost in the chat. So Nikki does her best, but it moves pretty quickly. If we miss your question, just pop it in again and we'll get to it. But yeah, I don't really have a topic. I guess we can catch up on what's going on with our business. This past weekend, one of our wholesalers reached out to me and asked if she could start sending us more stuff to choose from. So she's going full-time and doing that. Previously, she was part-time, and that was a big blessing for us because one of our biggest, what would you call it, like a funnel neck for the business is sourcing. Like, a lot of people don't realize that we have to travel pretty far to get to a good sourcing location, about an hour to an hour and a half one way at least. And so we have to travel really far to get to a good sourcing location. And we do that typically 3 times per week. We're traveling to get to these areas. So it's a lot of work. It's a grind, and I'll be happy to have some more stuff coming in, and maybe one day we'll have just complete wholesalers, people sourcing for us coming in. That'd be awesome. But that's what's new. Nikki and I were just discussing how we're going to take on the new inventory this morning and how we're going to kind of process that. And yeah, things are looking up. Thoughts?
I hate change. If you guys know that about me, I do hate change. It's a good change though.
Yeah.
But just really trying to figure out plans and what that looks like. I do believe we will be hiring again sooner rather than we intended to, but we're very excited to, I guess, start working through that process. I don't know.
We just
I'm
got
a
some
real
stuff
go
in the
with
works.
my go with the fly by the seat of my pants kind of person. So I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens and go from there. So
All right, I see a bunch of questions. Should we dive in?
we should. Joanna says, "What do you do if you have items that the comps are good, the price is good, the description and the pictures are good, but it just does not sell? Do you have a process for that?"
Yes. So I guess my first question is, when you're saying it will not sell, how long has it been listed? Because I've had a lot of comments recently that's like, I pick up the same stuff you do. It's been a week and it hasn't sold. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not our business model. Like, we expect things to sell within 3 months. So a week, 3 months, like, that's a huge difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess my question would be, how long has it actually been sitting? Do you have a realistic expectation? Or do you see a 100% sell-through rate within 90 days and think it should sell in a week? Because a lot of resellers believe that, but that's just not what the data tells us. So some things do take months to sell. If it has been over 90 days and you have looked at your listing, you're following the same model that we do, and you look at your listing, you're like, there are no issues with it. It's in the right category. I filled out everything I need. Got some good keywords in there. My pictures are fine. Then I guess my next thing that I would do, and what we do, is we start to drop the price little by little. If nothing else, it's usually pricing. There's probably someone that has the exact same item as you, and their item's selling and yours is not, because yours might be priced slightly higher. So we do price drops. I'm not talking like $10,
Drastic.
$20. It's like 5 to 10% every single month we drop stuff. So I would, I guess, first make sure you have a realistic expectation of how quickly an item should sell. And then once you reach your, what should we call that? Your like tip off point, your maximum amount based on the data. Then I would start dropping prices. And some things also, we were talking about this recently, like some things may comp really well, but 2 weeks later, they're out of season and they change. I feel like we've had some examples of that lately, but I'm trying to think of some.
The biggest thing that I would say I feel like we got hung on was Athleta pants. So like we're going way back here. But like when I originally started, most people didn't know about Athleta and like the reselling capability. It didn't sell for much, but like $25 to $30 you could flip most, not all, but most leggings with. So we picked up most of them and we had a really easy time flipping them. We sold them all the time, and then it seemed like all of a sudden, like, I don't know, a switch just flipped and they weren't good anymore. So we had to stop picking them up. Well, unfortunately, we got hung on some of those items because we'd already purchased them. We were picking them up, you know, in masses because nobody else was buying them. And then we kind of got stuck with some of those that we ended up having to mark down. Now we know we have to be more specific. We have to look at the individual styles, like, and really guarantee that. But we're also very cautious on those.
Yeah.
I
got some hair issues.
don't know. I'm trying to think of other examples, but Athleta was like the easiest one. Even Lululemon's like trending that way. There's some that do really, really well, and then there's some that are older styles that like we just can't sell for more than like $10, and it's just difficult. So
yeah, I think cashmere's one for me. Like a few weeks ago, I could still comp cashmere and it would still perform really well, but then like now, most of those brands, like it was a flip like over a couple of weeks that now I can't pick up most cashmere things. So I think seasonality has a lot to do with it. So I would recomp. But I think the biggest thing is making sure you have a reasonable expectation, and if not, start dropping your prices because you don't want to hold on to that for years to come.
the biggest thing too is being aware. So somebody just left a comment. I don't remember or don't know who it was. It looks like Alicia. She said that she sells the crap out of Athleta pants, even small sizes, at least $25. I think everybody has what I'm going to call like a niche that fits well for them. Ours, I'm going to say, is Eileen Fisher. I have heard reseller after reseller after reseller say they can pick up Eileen Fisher, and it does not matter how great it is, how special it is, what it's made of. They can't sell it. They sell it for dirt cheap because they just cannot sell it at normal pricing. We could pick up a t-shirt and sell it for $30 tomorrow. Like, I don't know what it is. Same thing with Knox Rose. There's some people who pick up Knox Rose and they're like, I just do not have good luck with it. We can buy a piece and flip it the next day. Like, it's just, I think everybody has certain brands that they're known for. and people do really, really well. Eileen Fisher just sits. Yeah, there's a lot of people that say that, but like we can sell it all day. I don't know what the difference is. I don't know if it's like that we just have an Eileen Fisher following at this point. Like we sold to so many people and maybe they follow the closet at that point. I don't know. But there are certain brands that do well. So what I would tell you is to make sure that you pay attention to your closet. If you're picking up something consistently, like Athleta pants, they did really well for us and now they're falling off. We're very careful on what we pick up moving forward. But there may be people like Alicia who can literally pick up every single piece of Athleta and still flip it like all day, every day. So know your store, pay attention to what you're selling, and if you have to skip.
Yeah. Alicia also just said that she sold an Eileen Fisher linen tank top size small for $30. So like you guys can see both sides. I had never thought about this before until you were talking about it, but I wonder if it has something to do with geographic location and where most of the customer base is. So like we're in the Midwest, like Eastern Coast area. So like I wonder if most of the Eileen Fisher, like that mature, like
it could be,
you know what I mean, the businessy type women, if most of them live where we live, because if you think about it, shipping's going to be cheaper for them. If, you know, Eileen Fisher's not popular or is popular in California or somebody wants it.
Regionally, you mean?
Regionally, yeah. But then like we have to ship it to them. Shipping is going to be super expensive. And when you think about a brand like Eileen Fisher, you know, there are multiples of the same item, so you're not the only seller selling it. So I wonder if that's why some people have better luck with brands, is just their geographical location and where most of the customer base is. Like, I never really thought about that before, but that would make sense to me. Because there's brands we can sell too.
It also makes sense where you find them too. So like, you know, you think about it, like we're in Ohio, right? We find Eileen Fisher like all day, every day.
Yeah.
Like it does really well here because everybody's wearing it. So that's what they're donating. Sense. You know what I mean? But if you say like, I don't know, I'm just picking random places. This could not be true for your area, but like say I fly to Montana and I can't find any Eileen Fisher, but I find like, I don't know, I'm going to call it ranch wear just because I have this thing with Yellowstone and thinking ranch wear when I think of Montana. Again, this could all be lies because I don't know. I've never been to Montana. But it could be something that you find something that is more regional based on where you're sourcing to. That might be more of what you sell there.
Yeah.
And I feel like the brands we find all the time are the brands that we sell the best.
Yeah. I think it has to do with geographical location and how much people have to pay for shipping. So
interesting.
I know. I never thought about that until you were talking. I was like, wait a minute. So
I like it. Okay.
We went on and on, but Alicia's in Montana.
Oh, yay! I didn't even know. That's so funny. Giancarlo says, best flip you two ladies have done, profit-wise and favorite find. Can I go first?
You can, but I just wanted to say, just tagging on to the last topic, someone said I sell a lot of Lily Pulitzer and I'm in Florida. That makes total sense.
Yeah. This is side noted. Did you know that Lily Pulitzer makes dog collars?
Jordan told us, yeah.
I've been looking at them. Okay. So if you get all the notifications on your eBay store, it's because I've watched so many of them. Yeah. So if you get discounts, you get deals coming, you better let me know. I almost brought my dog today, guys, but she was being a real spaz, so she stayed home today. But she came to the office on Friday.
Yeah,
she spent most of the day here. She was very good.
Yeah.
Today she had the zoomies, so she didn't come. But anyways, that was side note because we were talking about Lily Pulitzer.
Dusty Old Hat, thanks for being here and modding. He just dropped the how to research bolos for your area. So if you go back to that older video, you can search by your zip code. I show you how to do that so you kind of know like what actual bolos are in your area versus what some other people might be finding. You know, you can search sold comps all day long, but if you don't have those brands in your area, then you're memorizing stuff you're probably not going to come across. So that video talks about how to search within your zip code.
Okay, best flip you ladies have ever done. Profit wise and favorite find. Profit wise, I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know the most expensive thing I've ever found. Do you know the most expensive thing I've ever found and flipped?
You have ever found?
Yeah. I found that Christian Dior, but it hasn't sold yet.
I feel like you found like a lot of like $200 to $300 items, but I can't remember what they are.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head. But my favorite find was all that Lily Pulitzer stuff. We flipped a bunch of it within like a couple days. So we found a bunch of Lily Pulitzer stuff. And when I say a bunch, I mean there was like 20 to 25 in one day. It was incredible. It was like being in Florida and a flood of just chaos. And I've never been so happy in my life. And I love Lily. Like, she's my homegirl. And I was so excited, and it's so bright and it's so colorful. And I listed them all on a Friday, and we sold like, I don't know, probably half of them by Monday. And I was super excited to flip those. Go to Instagram. You'll find a video of me laying in them all because I loved them.
That was a good video.
I was very excited about that. That's just my favorite find.
That was a good find. Like, and collectively, they were really easy to list because they were all Lily. You had the style numbers. Like, they're fun to photograph.
I did find all those Lululemon's new with tags too a few weeks ago. Remember? I found like 6 or 8 of them, all new with tags, which were like so easy to list because they all had the tags. So I already had like all the info to do the listings.
Yeah. We honestly come across a lot of bolos. Now, don't get me wrong, most of our stuff is bread and butter, but I would say probably a few times a week we come across some like top-notch items. It's hard to remember all of them, to be honest with you. I think my absolute best find, I'll tell you two. The first one was when I first started reselling. It was like my second or third time going to the bins, and I found an Hermes cashmere scarf at the bins. Ooh, and at the time the pricing was much lower, so I paid like 50 cents. It sold for like over $300, and I was like, you know, as a newer reseller, I was like, oh my gosh. So then fast forward, other than that, I think that one of my better flips, but I will never do this again. Hear me out. I will never do this again. It was so stressful. Goodwill. I won't tell you where, but it's one of the frequent ones we go to. In their glass case one day had a Burberry Brit or a Burberry London new with tags men's wool military coat for $250, I think. So I picked it up, and I was new-ish to reselling. Like, it was before all you guys. And I was like panicking because I was like, oh my God, I just spent $250. Like, that's 2 weeks worth of sourcing for me at that point. And I got it, listed it, and long story short, it ended up selling within like a few months for like $850. So $250 into $850. And I packed that thing. That was the best packing I've ever done in my life. We put extra insurance on it. Like, I paid so much to ship this thing. Probably paid $100 to ship it, honestly, with all the extra insurance. But I will never do that again because I was sick to my stomach over that. I was so stressed out. I sent the package. I was like, even though I have even though I have extra insurance, signature confirmation, like all the stuff, if it doesn't arrive or my buyer tries to scam me, like, I'm out $250. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. But that was probably my best flip. It was a really good flip.
I like it. Senor Flipper says, when I shop the bins here in Austin, Texas, I often find good quality shoes, but without one or both insoles. Do you find this difficult to resell?
Yeah, I typically stay away from anything that doesn't have insoles, with exception to a few brands that I know still sell without them. Like, athletic shoes in general, people do like putting their own insoles in. So like, now I'll pick up Hoka's without insoles in. I didn't used to, but everybody commented one time when I passed on them in the video, and they were like, those would have still sold. And I was like, okay, from now on I'm picking up Hoka's without insoles. But if you find some stuff that's like really, really high sell-through rate and it's an athletic sneaker, typically you can get away with not having an insole, but I would say it would have to be in good condition.
I like it. Picasso. Where did you find your sourcer? Do you pay shipping, or how do you get the items to you?
Why do I feel like I just need to make a video about this? We get this question a lot. So, the sourcer came to me. Everyone that we've ever bought inventory from has all come to me. We have never reached out to anyone. They've all been subscribers and just reached out through that, formed a relationship, and it developed into that. So, best advice, just tell people what you do. I don't think you need to be on YouTube. I think you can just tell people in your community what you do, or if you're at the thrift store, other resellers, eventually something will come out of that. Like, we posted not that long ago, maybe a year ago, for a position that we were hiring for my reselling business on Facebook. Well, a girl emailed us, not even applying. She was just like, "Hey, I'm about to have a huge yard sale, and I have a bunch of stuff like that's going to be left over. Do you guys want to buy it?" So like that would be an example of, if you're not on YouTube, something that can happen. But we just put our name out there. So this person, my main wholesaler, the one we're getting a lot of items from, she reached out to me. She does exactly what we do. She goes to thrift stores and purchases, and then she just sells to us at, it's essentially double her cost, I believe. And then we also pay additional shipping. My total all-in cost, meaning shipping included, per item is typically about $5.65, $5.66, so somewhere between $5 and $6, which is pretty good, honestly. Pretty good all in, including shipping. And most of those items, I would say on average, $30, but then occasionally we'll get some like really big bolos that will sell for like over $100. So
yeah,
that's how we found her. And honestly, since we've talked about it a little bit, even now we've had a bunch of people reach out to us about purchasing items from, you know, buying out their closet, death piles, potential upcoming sourcers, people that just want to source, want to get out of the grind of listing, but it's all been word of mouth.
Yeah, it's been heavenly. That's what
She's been doing all the like research. I was like, I can't look up all this anymore. Like here, and she's been our wholesale queen, processing it every day.
Ooh, wholesale queen.
Maybe you should tell them a little bit about processing the wholesale, just like briefly.
So once stuff comes in, I just generally like check it over for flaws. The person we have right now, she's honestly pretty good about it. We do have some issues occasionally, but whenever we have issues, we just shoot her a message and say, "Hey, this is what happened. This is damaged. This is wrong. We can't sell this." And then she just gives us another free item and it's placed the next week. But generally I just go through the packages, make sure that everything is there, that's supposed to be there, that it's in good quality, and then if we don't price it as we're looking them up in the first time, I always go through and price them, and really just spend time kind of going through each one of those items. But it's pretty cut and dry. I mean,
she's putting them on our source spreadsheet still, so we can still upload them, which has been pretty cool. And I mean, you're pulling in at the post office now probably between 100 and 120 items a week that all comes in at once. So it's been a little bit of adjustment for both of us, but mainly her, who's been processing it, to know that that's coming in, and she's having to adjust her schedule a little bit. So it's been different strategy.
I enjoy it.
Taylor Exchange Sean said, "Happy Mother's Day to you."
Thanks.
Thank you.
It was such a good weekend. I'm so grateful for my kids. They were good for once. That never happens, but they were good. Brianna says, "I have been notified to fill out a W-9 form or Mercari. Is this something I can do, or do you suggest I get a CPA? I'm only part-time selling."
You can do it yourself. It's something that happens on many platforms once you reach a certain threshold. It's so that they can issue you a tax document at the end of the year. However, I do recommend, if you are starting to see quite a bit of income roll in, or you have a lot of numbers, highly recommend getting a CPA, even if it's just like an initial consultation to get advice as to how to go about things and make sure you're doing them properly. But I think you could do it by yourself if you just wanted to fill out the W-9. There's instructions online.
Thrifty Redhead says, "When you don't do free shipping and you get a return, once they return the item, do you refund in full with the original shipping cost, or just refund the cost of the item?"
Would you like to answer?
Yes.
Depends.
I don't say it depends. Well, it does depend. So if it's just a regular return for fit, something like that, they just didn't like the item, whatever, not something your fault. We do not refund the original shipping cost, because the money that they gave you to ship the item, you did use to ship the item. So that's considered like a wash. You don't take money from that. You only get the money that they paid for the item, right? Otherwise, you give that to eBay or USPS, however you're purchasing your label, to pay for the label. if it's an error that you created, say for instance, like you listed something as a small and it was a size large, or you shipped something and it had a hole or something wrong with the item, something you did wrong in the listing, we do typically refund their original shipping cost just because they wouldn't have made the purchase had they known there were issues with it and it was our mistake. So we normally just refund everything. But yeah, generally I would not refund the original shipping cost, even if you're doing free shipping or doing not free shipping, but doing returns, buyer or seller, free returns. Seller pays returns. We don't typically do the original shipping either because we ask them to pay for the original shipping and then we just pay for the return. We already sent the package. We already bought the label. We've already spent that money. It's gone. So we don't pay original shipping back.
You're never in any case required to give the original shipping back unless it was something you did wrong. You could do it to be nice. We don't.
Well, people are saying they never thought about the geographic location affecting the algorithm. And I think that that's a very interesting thought.
It was a very light bulb moment. I'm going to have to stew on it and probably do some research this week to, like, I guess, fully think that out and be done with it. But yeah, interesting.
Shardy, I need you to drop your store because you sell a lot of Lily Pulitzer and I need one for big people. So if you find a dress, a nice one, none of that weird crappy, just plain Jane stuff. I want the like pretty colorful things. But if you find a nice big girl dress, you let me know because we found one new with tags and I could not commit to keeping it because we were going to flip it for like $150. And it was plus sized. And I was like, I really want to keep this dress, but I couldn't take the money from Cayley. So we sold it. And my thought was if we don't sell it in 30 days, it's mine. We sold it in like 3 days and I was really disappointed.
Regretted it ever since.
I cried. I was so sad. So if you find one, I'm going to stock your store, Shardy, and I need you to find me a dress, a nice one, and send it to me on Instagram. I'll pay you top dollar for it. Thanks. Appreciate you. I'm in Ohio and the only place I can find Eileen Fisher is at the high-end consignment shops. It's interesting. We find it all the time. All the time.
Yeah. Not sure where you're at in Ohio, but that could be, I guess, different.
What? Joanne says apparently my area must love shopping at Kohl's with crying emojis.
Ours is awesome. Old Navy. We have a lot of Old Navy in our thrift stores.
Dusty Old Hat wants to know, how did all that Lily Pulitzer show up in one place? Was it from a store or a person? It was in various sizes, and the stores we were going to let us know that it was like last season stuff that the stores donated, so a lot of it was new with tags too. Yeah. Y'all, when I told you that, like, what is that when you like come out of your body, an out of body experience? Yeah. It was like I was watching it. It was epic. It was so good. Like I was texting, where's my phone? Oh, I don't have it. Oh, I gotta find it. Hold on. I gotta show you the picture.
Every single piece, we would like keep looking at each other like on the other side of the store and we'd be like, oh my God.
I gotta find the photo.
She'd be like, is it another one? She loves
I was so happy. So happy. I literally texted my husband. Hold on, I'll show you. Hold on, I gotta find it. I'm shaking, I know.
I'm gonna pull these so you don't.
I got it, moved it. I literally had armful. Oh, I gotta turn this phone number off. Y'all be calling him. I found armfuls of it. I sent this to my husband and I was like, literally word for word. Oh, I gotta find it again. I literally word for word was like, I don't know what happened, but somebody loves me today.
It's a good day. Really good day.
It just kept coming. And then like the crappy thing was, sorry, I'm pushing buttons. I don't know. I couldn't look for anything else because all I was looking for was like that color. And I was so freaking excited. And then they were all small and mediums, like I'm going to fit in that. But I was so excited.
It became really hard to look for anything else but the bright multicolor print because we were like, we gotta get all of it.
I literally would like see. So Cayley would be across the entire store, and I'd be like, Cayley, there's a lily, and I'd be like waving it. Like everybody probably thought I was really dumb, but it's fine. Y'all will learn that I just whatever comes out, it's fine.
So yes, an Eileen store donated it. There were also
Lily
some
store. Lily store.
or Lily store. Sorry, we've been talking about Eileen. Both of our girls. One of them's missing, but Eileen, I did it again. Lily Pulitzer, A store, donated it. There were some that seemed to be like try-on ones or returns that they'd held on to because there were some with like pit stains and stuff. So we did have to like kind of look at condition, but most of them were like
top-notch,
new with tags
new.
or like barely worn. Yeah.
Garden Gal says, I was unable to delist on List Perfectly on other platforms using my phone when I was not at home. The best thing I can tell you, Garden Gal, is I just go to like I have Android, but I just go to like a Google tab and go to the List Perfectly website and then go to the like settings and go to desktop site, and then I'm able to just like access it like I would on the computer. But I don't know why it would only be at home. That's kind of strange.
Unless she's talking about the delist feature,
Maybe,
because that you can only do on an actual desktop, but that's not the way that we take items down. We click the links manually and it's just honestly faster.
London Cole says that their dog has a Vineyard Vines made for Target dog collar.
Aww.
I need to get some. I'm going to show you guys this. I don't know why I want to tell you guys about my dog all the time, but I do want to tell you about my dog. So my dog is my best friend. She's very cute. And she, I like to take funny pictures of her. So I took a picture of her with a bike helmet on. She's so cute. I will bring her sometime for you. Look at her. You just want to touch her.
She's super cute.
Pet her face. Okay. Anyways, I need to see your dog, London Cole. Dusty old hat. Is somebody leaving?
Oh, no. Hi from Cincy.
We do still go to the bins occasionally. It has been a little while. We've been talking about going back just to kind of check it out, but
been a while.
It's been a little bit.
Honestly, the bins are not our favorite. I have been dying to like go back though and just kind of see, but the past few times we have like just sporadically gone. We've not done very well. And I don't know if it's just like the day we went, because I know sometimes you'll have a killer day at the bins, other times you won't, but we have not had a killer day at the bins in a really long time, which tells me, like even when we were going regularly, which tells me it's not been very good recently, but I don't know, we'll probably go back soon and see. There's also another bins location that we want to try. It's a bit of a drive for us, but I'm dying to try that as well. What?
Can't wait. Kristen Valdez says, I can't find a good cross lister that is free and that works properly. I'm having trouble keeping up with what I have on eBay and what I have on Poshmark. Any advice? Pay for a service. I'm being serious. Like the return you'll see and just the like lack of headache. I think that I don't know how much List Perfectly is, but what I can tell you is that there's different options for you. If you don't want to spend a lot, you could at least get it to like, I guess, hold some of your information. I'm sure there's also cheaper options out there as well. Maybe some other people in the comments can give you other suggestions, but again, I'm kind of biased because I don't know how much we pay for List Perfectly, but what I can tell you is that if I was going to start a business today, I would 100% get List Perfectly because I don't know how I would function without it.
Yeah, and not that I want to promote other ones, but like there are many out there, not dogging the ones that are free because, you know, they can be useful, but when things are free, they also typically come with a lot more problems than the paid for ones. Not that the paid for ones don't ever have issues. You're gonna have issues. Like, you're just gonna have issues no matter what. It's technology. But I find that I have a lot less issues and I have a lot more help with issues when I have a paid service, and sometimes it's worth it to just get it done and not have to think about it anymore. My mindset really changed on that. I used to never pay for anything.
I don't.
Never. And once I started using List Perfectly and Posture VA, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm saving so much time. I'm going to get so much more done. My sales like tripled that month because we were just listing so much more. I wasn't having to share anymore. It was automatically sending out offers. So try to think of it, not that you have to pay for a paid service, but if you wanted to, I always try to think of it as, if I pay for this service, how quickly am I going to make my money back?
Mm-hmm.
Like Posture VA, for example, is $25. If I make one more sale, two more sales, let's say, to completely cover it, like, so easy. So easy. I made the money back immediately just from being consistent. But if anybody has a free one that you don't have issues with, then you can drop them in the link below. But I'm sticking with what I know.
I just want to tell everybody that tomorrow is Joe Childress' 70th birthday. And she shared that in the comments. So happy birthday, Joe! She's taking a trip with her daughter on a Napa road trip and a casino visit. So everybody take 2 seconds. Send up your either prayers, good vibes, mojos, whatever you want to call it, that Joe hits the like $1 million win this week.
Yeah.
And gets to go on like a trip of a lifetime or something fun. So happy birthday, Joe.
Happy birthday. Hope you have a great time.
Somebody said they found 2 pairs of Louis Vuittons at Goodwill that weren't even marked up. That was awesome.
That's a miracle in itself. Even the fake ones around us get marked up.
I know. Giancarlo, thank you. It's so sweet of you. Buyers will try to scam you for anything. Someone just did 2 disputes with me on eBay over a $14 pack of embroidery threads that I sent with free shipping. Insane. Okay, can we talk about this?
We can vent for a second. Go ahead.
This is like podcast stuff, but like, my God. All right, y'all about to get the pod. My nose will not stop itching. It's like...
Maybe you need to sneeze.
No, it's like allergies. Sorry. I'm going to keep touching my nose. It's not on purpose.
No, my nose itches.
I know. It's just a thing. Let's talk about buyers this week, last week, the week before. I don't even know. But I am venting because
it's never been that bad.
No. We've had so many like issues, customer service issues, like, oh my God, y'all wait, the comments will be coming on this podcast, but like, I just don't know what's going on. Like, people are freaking insane. Like, I think I banned myself from answering customer questions because like I was getting mad. Like, legitimately mad. It's all stupid stuff too.
Yeah.
Like,
we had the worst issues last week, just total customer service wise. Like, some of it was our fault, but most of it was not our fault. And it was just like literally like 10 a day. Like, I'm not even exaggerating, to the point where
it was something, always a message or a comment or a return.
I texted her and I was like, what is going on? Like, is there like something going on behind the scenes?
Something's
like
in the water.
Yeah, I was like, something is happening. We have never had this many returns. Someone brought up a good point that people have used their tax refund money and now they're hurting again, so they're being more careful about their purchases and returning things that maybe they would have just kept even though they didn't really like it. I don't know, but it's been a lot. Aw, we got a super chat.
Thank you.
Sarah Giles, love you guys. Thank you for your channel. It disappeared.
I got it.
Is that what it said? Thank you for your channel. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you.
It's just been absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Insane. I don't know. Anyways, vent over. We'll save that for podcast. Returns on eBay. Buyer pays. Which one do you do? We pay return shipping for returns. We do free returns.
Yeah, it's called free returns, which means that we pay for the return shipping. Just to clarify again, that does not mean you have to pay back the original shipping. It just means you pay for the return shipping back. But you have to offer free 30-day returns on most items plus a 1-day handling time to be a top-rated seller, in which you get a discount off of your final value fees. And that is the main reason that we have that policy, because we do save a lot of money from final value fees.
Joanna says, my best source is my sister. She's a plus size fashion influencer on YouTube, and I have a consignment arrangement with her on all of her clothing. I need to follow.
That's so
Drop
cool.
the link.
You should tell us who she is.
Yeah, we need to search her up. I gotta follow. Dusty Old Hat says, question, Cayley, recently you upped your average cost of goods to $5 from $4, I think. Can you discuss that?
Yeah, things got more expensive.
Yeah.
Honestly, just for the sake of that video, like, okay, so I do the what sold videos. I put the estimations on there just because it's so much easier for me to just, I know what my estimate is, and then I just multiply by however many items we sold that week. But in addition to that, every month I actually go through my real numbers, not estimations, and I look through everything. Actually, recently it's been more like just slightly over $5. I just did a rounded amount for the video purposes. But we've talked about it before, but we've just had an increase of prices at our thrift store. I mean, jeans went from just 2 years ago from $4.99,
Yeah, $4.99.
all the way to $8.99 in just 2 years here in Ohio. So a lot of stuff we're having to pay up for in order to, I guess, keep up with our demand. A lot of people ask, do we have like a certain dollar amount that we want to bring in for, like some people want to bring $2,500 worth of value into their store listed every week. We don't really look at it that way. We have a minimum that we want to meet, and then we just focus on the number of items we're bringing in, knowing that we're going to at least hit the minimum. But we've had to X out a lot of stuff that we no longer pick up just because of price increases. But just price increases overall at the store is why that's increased. Because I notice as I do my monthly numbers that has gone up to closer to $5. And we don't shop the bins as much anymore.
Also, last week I could have picked up so many items in jeans that I had to skip because I just could not spend $10 to make $30. Just was not worth it.
Yeah.
Senor Flipper says, appreciate you answering my question. My reselling business has really taken off since I started viewing your channel this past January. Keep up the great work.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys' nice comments.
Kristen Valdez says, I have such a hard time finding stock photos, even with style numbers. We don't use stock photos. I know Dusty Old Hat added that. We don't. eBay kind of frowns upon it, so we typically do not. I always think it's more important to use your own photos. So if you have any flaws or like any coloration, like they know for sure what they're getting. So that's just my opinion.
Ooh, community yard sales. Yeah, that is something Nikki and I have not done I think we went to one yard sale last year. We keep telling ourselves we're going to hit yard sales, but yeah, that would be a great way to bring our cost of goods down, and we hope to do that this summer. Every time we make plans though, guys, something happens, and like
I went to that one yard sale and it was good.
Yeah.
It seems like they just like pop up randomly. Honestly, I normally go by myself because like I'll just randomly be laying in bed the night before and then like somebody will text me. Like one of my family members will be like, hey, there's a reselling yard sale. You want to go? And I'm like, okay. I take my kids with me and I'm like, all right, go sniff out the Lulus. Like, go find them. They're good. Like,
it's hard because we don't normally work on Saturday and Sunday, so I just don't even think about it. And I know that they have them on Friday, but like I just don't think about yard sales anymore unless it's for personal reasons. So we do need to kind of be better about that, but that would be a great way to bring cost of goods down because they've been awfully expensive lately.
Yes. Just skipping out of order, but Shardy said that most times she doesn't carry cash. A lot of places now do like Venmo or PayPal or like have other electronic ways that you can pay, which is kind of convenient for business stuff too.
Yeah.
I have been listing 10 times a day last week for 4 days, but still slow sales on eBay and Poshmark.
Was that a question?
I think it's just a comment. Okay. But listing 10 items a day for 4 days, unfortunately, is not going to increase your sales drastically. I shouldn't say this because I'm just like waiting for a troll to pop out here, but it's like losing weight. I know I'm not a good example, but it's like losing weight. You can't eat a salad for 4 days and expect to lose 50 pounds. It just doesn't happen. Those salads get really miserable after like day 5. I've been packing my lunch. I'm taking a Nashville trip, so I'm like penny pinching every little dollar I can keep because I want to go do bad things while I'm there. And I got over making my lunch after like 5 days. I've still been doing it. I've lost like 6 pounds, but give me 2 days. I ate a whole lot of chocolate cake for Mother's Day yesterday, so I probably put it back on. But my point was, before I derailed, anything that you do, you're not going to see direct results of. You have to consistently keep sticking with it. No, there's no mozzarella sticks in my lunchbox today or in my purse.
Or in a napkin in her purse.
But you have to keep with it for a long period of time before you're going to see the results. And it is disappointing sometimes when you keep doing good and you're doing good and you're doing good and you're doing and you're trying. But if you stick with it, 10 a day, for 4 days, give it like 2 to 3 weeks, and I guarantee you'll start seeing an uptick. It won't be drastic, but it might be like an extra item or two a day, and then it'll slowly start increasing.
Here's something to think about, guys. I think a lot of people miss this, but when you decide to increase listings or start listing consistently or whatever, depending on what you're picking up, let's say you're following our model, which is what I consider to be a high sell-through rate model. You're picking up a high sell-through rate item. Even then, 100% sell-through rate within 90 days. If you start now doing something, you're probably not going to see the result of that till 90 days later. So depending on what your sell-through rate is, like if you just think about it in that way, I guess you can come to terms with it a lot easier, that it's going to take longer. So unless you're picking up like a 2,000% sell-through rate item, probably not going to start selling that stuff within days. But over time, you are going to see it. It takes a lot longer than people think to start seeing those results. You have to have the discipline to keep going.
Let's talk about this too. I feel like when you do things like this, you put your head down and you just keep pushing. You don't really even see the change. We had that conversation a couple weeks ago.
That was a good topic.
Yeah. It was a good topic about how like you keep pushing, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm not getting anywhere. Like you just keep going and you're like, God, I'm getting tired. And then like something will happen and you'll like have a flashback of like, I don't know, Cayley's is normally like an Instagram post from like a year ago. And it'll be like, oh, a year ago you sold 12 items on this day. And then like today we shipped 119 and you're like, well, clearly something happened.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's hard when you're so like nose to the grindstone to really see the changes as they're coming until you have like a flashback moment and you're like, well, wait, a month ago, this is where I was. So I tell everybody to just like push forward, stay motivated. Don't keep tracking the progress. And maybe in a month say, okay, I'm going to look back at my numbers in a month and see where I'm at. So
someone said I needed to hear that. Thank you.
Hello,
Scorpion. Is that what it says? Sorry, I totally missed it.
Yes, Scorpion.
Hello, Scorpion. Thank you so much. I also I know I'm going out of order here, but back to the yard sales. Dusty Old Hat asked what to do about receipts at yard sales. What you can do is just create your own receipt. You can either buy the like memo invoice paper, or you can literally just take a record of it, but make some sort of record of it at maybe this city, this yard sale, this date, at this time, I purchased this many items for this much, and create your own receipt, and the IRS will consider that a receipt, but you want to make some kind of a record.
Have you ever blocked a buyer before they made a purchase just based on the feeling that they could be difficult? I do it when a buyer asks too many unnecessary questions. I know this typically means trouble or INAD. No, but we should.
I've not, but I've been considering it a lot more lately. I don't know. I stray away from doing that because we have had buyers that have done that, but that have ended up being consistent buyers for us and end up buying stuff like every other week from us in bundles. So like, even though some buyers might be slightly annoying, you can also have a sale from it, and they might end up being a consistent customer of yours. Now, maybe you don't want them to be a consistent customer, and I get that, but you never know what the outcome of a situation might be, whether that be good or bad. And I personally do not subscribe to blocking people for that reason. Now, if they're threatening you, which we have had recently, or, you know, they're completely out of line, then yeah, I would probably block them. Or if I thought they were trying to scam me. But just,
we should have blocked Rhonda Stark.
Yeah, but just asking a lot of questions, like, no, I've never blocked someone for that. Have I thought about it? Yeah, but we have not done that yet. We probably will not do that.
We do have a physical CPA in our area that we use. I know there are online options as well, but ours is physical, Kelly. And I think you asked later. Oh, it wasn't you. It was Kristen. We are from Ohio.
Is the next podcast Rhonda?
No, Rhonda's too old. I'm not even mad anymore about. I mean, I'm still mad about it, but I'm not as mad about her. My most recent upset is I'm gonna call her Claudette. It's not Tina this time. Her name's Claudette. So pay attention to the next podcast coming because we're gonna discuss Claudette and how crappy they are.
She said that so seriously.
It was.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Oh, yes, you do. The one who threatened me this week.
Oh,
I was
okay.
about to drive to wherever she was, and you know that chart? How much you F around is how much you're gonna find out. I was about to make a line graph. I was about to. Went to school for math. I was about to make a line graph. It was about to come. Woo! Yeah, Rhonda Stark's kind of gone. Like, I do still want to go to her website and purchase something, but I know that's just me being like really grumpy about it, and I won't do it because I don't want to give her $1. But if I did,
we'll talk about her in this podcast. It's a buyer, not a comment.
Yeah, it was a buyer, and her name is not Rhonda Stark. She purchased something named Rhonda Stark. Yeah. Oh, Claudette that's not her name either. She
makes up names.
Yeah, that was my made up name.
People were really upset that we did not podcast last week. They're like, "Where's the podcast at?" Just a reminder, we cannot commit to it every week, but we are trying to do at least bi-weekly. So this week on Friday,
there will be one.
There will be one. We'll make it happen.
We're for sure. Yeah, we're gonna film it today.
Maybe.
I'm in one of my moods. Today's the day. Today's the day. I'm in one of my rambunctious tear up the town. Okay. I packed fettuccine alfredo for lunch. I have chocolate cake that I made from scratch. Today's the day. Today is the day. I might eat my cake on the podcast.
All right. So for those of you that missed the podcast last week because we did not do one, we will be doing one that will launch this Friday.
Go back and check out Tina.
Not to be confused with Trina, as Trina made sure to tell us.
Is it Trina or Trina? Because I just need to know how you say that. Like Trina. I don't know how we would.
I would say Trina if it's
or Trina, like Tree.
Oh, maybe.
I know that's not how you spell it, but I need to know if it's like Trina, like a tree.
You guys should take a couple shots.
Trina. Oh, sorry, I hit you kind of hard. I was right. It's Trina.
Trina.
I say Trina. I like that. Okay.
We should do a couple shots before the podcast recording. I don't think we'd be able to finish the podcast if we did a couple shots before.
I might still have tequila in my car.
Oh, God.
We can do that. No. Start it. You know what? Next, not this podcast, but next podcast, we're going to bring in liquor. And we'll do it at the end of the day. God. And every time you say factor, stacking, or substantial, we have to do shots.
I have to bring water that looks like a shot so I can drive home.
If we're doing this, it's legit. I will arrange a DD. We're fine. Okay. We got to keep focused. Sorry. It's my fault. Hey, my question is about Poshmark live shows. It seems one must sell very low. Do you think you'll ever do a Posh live? Also, have these Posh shows affected your sales on Poshmark?
Yes, we would still like to try both a Whatnot show and a Posh show, just to at least do one or two and say that we did it and see how it works. But I don't think it's going to become anything for us. Don't think so. And then no, I do not subscribe to everyone else with the saying that their sales have dropped because of Posh shows. I personally, I don't subscribe to that mentality. I'm sorry. But no, we have not seen a drastic drop in sales specifically on Poshmark, but in general, we are like moving into a slower time in sales on both eBay and Poshmark. And I think sometimes people are getting that confused and like blaming it on something else, but it's something that happens during this time every year.
Outcast says, how long did it take for you to go from selling items with a low ASP to a much higher ASP? What is the average amount of profit that you look for to make on each item? I think that's like one thing that people don't think of is I think people think you have to start at a low ASP when you really don't. you can really set your ASP to be whatever you want it to be. It's just basically what you pick up. It's really dependent upon your area. You might be able to find an average sale price of your items, and it might be $50 from the get-go because you might have that available in your area. There might also be times where they're more bread and butter, not bread and butter. And you might have to do more of like a $25 to start, but I don't think ASP is really something necessarily that you have to like build. It's just what you have available and what you're willing to do. As far as the amount of profit for each item, we have a policy of like $5 is what we'll spend into $25.
It yields about $15 profit.
Yeah.
Before other expenses, just strictly like the sale, the fees, the cost of goods.
Yeah.
So I can't say how long it took me once I switched from deciding what my, trying to pick up higher ASP items, how long that actually took. I would say that my business transformed as far as sourcing goes in about a year's time, but the switch was not that I started picking up higher ASP items. The switch was that I switched to a high sell-through rate. And with that came higher ASP items, because I would be picking up things that I felt should sell for $50-$70, but they didn't have a high sell-through rate, so they would sit until finally I dropped the price and they ended up selling for like $15. So until I finally understood sell-through rate and like making myself only pick up a certain sell-through rate and on, that's when things really started to change for me. But I think you got to figure out what works for you, because as far as average sale price, because everyone has a different cost of goods, and what you might be comfortable with is different than what I might be comfortable with. Lately, honestly, we've been a lot more comfortable with picking up things at a higher cost of good marked up to sell it for much more, like 20 into 70. Those have been really great sales for us, and that's something I never thought I would do.
I feel really good about it. That was something I struggled with for a really long time. Because ultimately, like, Cayley is one of my good friends, and the last thing I wanted to do was just like make a bunch of really bad decisions and tank the business. So if it was like more than $6, I was like, hey, can you tell me, can I get this? Like, I'm concerned. Now, like, we went to a thrift store the other day, and I picked up something for like $25, and Cayley was like, I think they rang up something wrong, and I was like, no, it's good. Like, I picked that up, it was me. And she was like, oh, really? Like, and I could tell she was kind of surprised by it, because I used to not do that, but it was like a Free People top, and it was like a linen blazer of some sort, and all the comps were like $125. So to spend $25, but then make $100 off of it, alone, without, I mean, obviously the fees, but I felt like it was good to do. I feel like we're making a lot more of those decisions, and we feel a lot more confident in it, and they've all been selling. So I think it's definitely been something that's been working out for us. So
yeah, I would, if I could give you advice, if you wanted it, I would try to focus on your sell-through rate over average sale price, and then I think the average sale price will follow with that.
Happy Girl says, do you use the packing list on your orders?
No. I've been getting that question a lot recently.
She said eBay updated it to add and coupon on them, just curious.
I have been getting that a lot lately for both Poshmark and eBay. I don't know where that question is coming from, if someone made a video on it or what, but we've been getting like, I probably got like 10 questions about that last week. But no, we don't use packing slips. We're, as Shay said, today we shipped out, 120 something items. If I had to print and put a packing slip in every single one of those, that would take extra time that we just don't have. And we're trying to simplify the process. We want to cut out steps. So no, we are not doing packing slips. I can't see doing that. No.
I offer free returns on eBay. I just had my first return for doesn't fit. But I never had the option to send a return label. It was done automatically. Is this how free returns work?
No.
Yeah.
We've been having issues with that too recently. I just had to do one on Friday. I don't know what's going on with that. eBay should be sending them the label.
She said they did.
Oh, they did?
They did send it automatically. It is supposed to automatically send. But every now and then it doesn't do that, and we have to actually go on and like click the buttons. But I do think it's intended to.
It's supposed to, which is good for you because when you print the shipping label, it should save the package information. So the buyer should be able to just slip it back into that or a similar packaging and send it back to you. But it should be automatically doing that for you.
We have Sarah from England today.
Hi.
Welcome.
Sarah from England.
Good morning. Dusty Hat says maybe the bins are slipping because Goodwill's been pulling stuff again. Maybe. SW. I have only recently discovered your channel, but with the high volume of items you have, do you wash them before shipping? Thanks.
Wash them before shipping? No, we get this question a lot. We only wash or steam if necessary, and we try to not pick up anything that needs washed, because you can't guarantee you're going to be able to get something out. But our theory is that most people, when they donate their clothing, donate them washed, and then your buyer is also more than likely going to wash them before wearing. So I don't see the need to do that, and you can tell if an item needs washed, and we try to steer clear of those. But again, that would be an additional thing that we would have to do for every single item, and we do not do that. We do a lot of steaming though, which also kills bacteria.
I skipped over some comments, so if y'all were like really sad that I didn't read your comment, I'm so sorry, but I want to make sure we got to all the questions today. So I am going to read one though. We have, I'm going to call it Pia. I could be saying your name wrong, and if so, I'm so sorry. But here from Australia, stoked to finally tune into a live. It's nearly 1 a.m. Talk about some dedication.
Hi.
1 a.m.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. Little bit of snap, but hi there, mate. That was funny. Sorry. My sense of humor is horrible. I like the buyers who scold you about an item. I wish there was an eye roll button. You can send emojis in eBay. You can. I'm just letting you know. I literally, like, I'm not going to tell you what it was, but this Claudette was a jerk. And I sent them this really nice response, but it was, like, sarcastically nice so that they couldn't come back and be like, eBay, this person's being bad. But it was enjoyable. And there were some emojis.
My favorite response to send to people lately is no thank you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Will you take $5 for this?
No thank you.
Yeah. How about $10?
No thank you.
You know my favorite?
You're being polite, so you can't like get in trouble for that. Yeah.
I like to tell people to have the day they deserve.
Yeah.
That's my signature line when somebody's bad. Okay, focus. Kristen, can you guys please explain the promoting choice on eBay? Does it actually work? When do I pay for it?
So the way last time we talked about this, some people came in the comments and said they thought it worked differently. So I'm just going to tell you what I think happens with eBay promoted listings, but you might want to just look it up and do the research. Just type how do eBay promoted listings work on Google and read the eBay articles about it. But my understanding is that you promote at whatever percentage. I don't even quite fully understand the percentage that they do. But if it's high enough and the promoted listing outranks your normal listing, that's the one that gets put in front of other people's listings that they'll see first. And then if they choose the one with the promoted listing, that's when you pay. If they purchase the promoted listing, you don't pay until that item sells, and I believe it's at the percentage that you set. So like if you set it to 10%, my understanding is that you're giving an additional 10%, like eBay takes that 10% cut. To be honest with you, I don't know all the details because we don't really use promoted listings. I'm thinking of doing testing out some promoted listing percentages on eBay. I used to do just like 1 or 2% back when they first started it, and I didn't really understand it, and I stopped doing them, and I haven't really seen much of a difference in sales. So we just don't really do them unless we want to shake things up and they're older items. But I would definitely do some research on that so that you're not spending money unnecessarily. And I'm sorry that I can't give you a better answer, but I don't use them enough to be able to help.
Pia, we do measure all of our items. We do pit to pit and length for shirts, and then we do inseam, rise, and waist for pants. So we do measure them all before or during the photo process. Do you have Goodwill workers being rude to you or watching you while you thrift?
Not really.
No.
No, we haven't. The only issues that we've had with Goodwill employees or thrift store employees in general has never been because they knew that we were a reseller. And a lot of them do know that we're resellers.
Most of them just don't want to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't seem to have that issue in our area.
Darla wants to know on eBay, is there a way you can see how many listings you've done by day or date? If you're on your active listings, it should tell you how many, like, if you sort it by date, you can go to, let me just click on here so I don't tell you the wrong thing. But if you're on eBay and you're on your active listings, you can filter it by the, like, listing date. So on the columns, you'll see one that ends up saying, I think it's like creation date.
You cannot do it. Date. You can't do it on your app. No. You need to get on a desktop to do it.
Yeah, so you have a start date. And if you click on that, you can filter it either by like oldest or newest. If you click twice, it'll go newest, which is what we normally do. And then what I normally do, rather than like counting each one, is I just Control F and I'll type like May 15th and it'll highlight all of the 15th and will show me how many we've done. And then you could just backspace and do the 14th and backspace and do the 13th. Or you could go and like view your store as just like another random, like you're shopping,
like as a buyer.
Yeah, as a buyer. And count them that way as well. But the easiest way would be to just go to your active listings and filter. Is that the next podcast, Rhonda? No, Rhonda is not the next podcast.
Rhonda is part of the brand name. Is why she keeps saying Rhonda. Mm-hmm. of the item that sold that we had a lot of issues with.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I won't say Trina or Tina again because I don't want to. I'll pick a different name. I'm still getting
comments about Tina. People love the Tina.
That just came out of nowhere. I don't even know where Tina came from. I don't even know a Tina. Oh, I do know a Tina. It's really fitting, actually. It's really frustrating when buyers try to negotiate in the comments on Posh. I literally will send them messages and say, please send an offer using the offer function. And then if they send me any other comments, I just don't answer them.
We also have that on eBay when we don't have best offer turned on, but people will still message. Guys, you need a copy and paste sheet for your customer service. Yes. That way you can just copy and paste your responses so you don't get upset about it. But we have a copy and paste sheet for every situation that people do. It looks like we are starting to near the bottom of the chat. So if you guys have any questions, make sure to drop them down below because we are going to go through these and we're going to get off of here. Nikki and I have a lot to discuss. Got some business plans coming up. But if you have questions, make sure to put them in now. What we got?
Some Bam Bam says, I've only blocked one person. She demanded a refund but refused to return the item because she accused me of being a witch and practicing black magic. True story. Oh my gosh. You know what? New topic. After I get through all of the comments that I need to vent out, y'all can submit yours. Send them to my Instagram.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
It would be so funny. I don't even know what my Instagram is. Send it to Cayley. Don't send it to Cayley because she won't find them.
You can email us.
Yes, please.
It's in the description box. You guys should email us your reseller horror stories for us to read on the podcast. That'd be so much fun.
And then if we get them, I won't read them ahead of time, and then I can just blind react. It'd be so funny. That's epic. A witch. Bam Bam the witch. I love it. You guys should take it. Yes, we are going to do shots sometime. We will. Anyone know anything about Miss Sook versus exclusively Miss Sook? The difference.
I honestly don't know. I just assume that exclusively Masook is like a subline, or maybe they were made at different times. I personally sell both, but I think I mostly find exclusively Masook. If anybody knows the answer to that and the differences between them, drop it in the comments below.
Dusty Old Hat says he wants to see me unfiltered.
What are your comments? They were like, "This is the Nikki I've been waiting for." My comments are, you should see what she says and does on a day-to-day basis. She could probably have her own reality TV show, but it would probably have to be rated like PG-13 or up.
XXX. X-rated. It would definitely, it'd be rated R for sure. I do some pretty funny things. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna rat my husband out. Hopefully he's watching this right now. But he just says I'm not funny. He tells me all the time that I'm not a funny person, and I think he's just upset.
With you all the time.
Yeah, I think he's just upset because I'm funnier than he is sometimes, and he doesn't want to be right. But yeah, thanks. I was listening to you the other day, and you'd mentioned that you were stuck on listing 5 an hour. I'm stuck in the same place. What did you do to change that? We do. I'll say that's not us. I don't think.
We might have been answering a question for somebody else, but
yeah, we
can typically do. Depending on who's doing it, we can do anywhere from like 10.
What?
The RMC jeans. People are bringing up the RMC jeans. I don't even know if I showed you the RMC jeans. Hold up. Nikki has not seen the RMC video. I will show her the sold listing. Give me just a second.
Okay.
But what were we talking about?
5 an hour. We're talking about 5 an hour.
Yeah. So we
do not. We do like 20 an hour.
We might have been answering a live Q&A for someone else, but all in photos and listing, 10 to 15 an hour is probably like our average for a normal, not that we're not normal, but like a newer reseller who's not as experienced and hasn't cut down their efficiencies. Probably 10 an hour is more how it should be, but 5 an hour is pretty low. You know what? You could look it up on there.
RMC naughty jeans.
No.
That's what that said?
No, look up.
I want to look this up.
That's
first.
Not what you're looking up.
Okay.
Look up RMC jeans. So let me give you first before you keep going.
I already clicked enter, but I went back to YouTube.
So the context to this for anybody watching too, you're gonna get her blind reaction. I'm so excited. Do you remember me showing you those heavily embroidered jeans that I just got? I got like a small batch of items, and I was like, I thought these were Ed Hardy, but they're like another brand. They ended up being Selvage. So
I don't think I saw them, but I think I remember you telling me about them.
Okay, so I came back that day, and I did a unedited raw footage thrift haul while also doing comps for every single item on video.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking up these RMC jeans, and I'm trying to determine my pricing because they're kind of expensive. And depending on what the embroidery was, they went for more or less. Well, I'm scrolling, and all of a sudden, I see this embroidery, and I'm just like, oh my. Like, there's a naughty one on here. And I was like, I'm not going to show you on camera. I was like, but just trust me.
I love naughty things.
Well, then naturally, everyone went and looked this up, and they were like, oh my God. And so someone, I don't remember who, but they were like, I wish we could know the count on how many people looked up RMC. So, okay, go back and go to the solds.
Hold on. Slow down, cucumber. All right.
Now I would filter. I would sort by the highest price if you want to find them quick.
Yes. That's not what
I think it's the ended recently. Switch up to highest.
Oh yes, highest first.
Okay, scroll down.
Holy shit, 600. Oh, sorry. Holy S word. $679. Those ones just have 2 lines.
Oh, there they are.
Wow.
Oh, did you see them?
I did. I just want to see if there's anything else.
No, there's not.
Damn.
Yeah, I had to click into it. I was like, what is that?
Did you click into it on the video? Oh, where'd it go? Hold on.
No, I couldn't show any of that on the video.
Oh, that's unfortunate. What in the world?
$200 jeans though, like if I find those, I'm selling them.
Do you think eBay would flag? Okay, all right, hold up. Here's my reaction, okay? Listen. Oh my god. Okay, so the first thing we gotta talk
Do
about.
not show that.
I'm not gonna show it.
Okay.
I'm not. It's live. If it wasn't, I would. The first thing is this is the back left butt pocket. Like, also, there's a random boobie. Like, did you notice that?
Yeah, she's tied.
I know that, but like, anyways,
There's some detail.
there's some detail, but also here's what I want to know: is this inappropriate? Let's just make sure before I show this. No, it's not.
It looks fine.
Okay, that was the left pocket. The right pocket is a freaking like warrior on a.
I didn't even notice that.
Like, why do you have a naked woman doing things to herself on one, but then on the other one
It's
has
exquisite.
I'm gonna choke.
Okay, we gotta move on from this because
Has-
some people might not know what we're talking
It
about and
has-
don't want to.
It has a weird
I did not even.
other pocket. Was
One-
my point. Like,
Once I saw the initial image, I just like clicked out of it and moved on.
Oh, I didn't,
I
buddy.
didn't even know.
I explored.
That's so funny.
It was also accepted on an offer below $200. So I wonder how much it actually sold for.
Probably at least one.
Did you look to see if there were any other inappropriate ones?
I tried. Yeah, I didn't see any.
I wonder if we searched
Oh,
naughty.
actually, go down. There was one. Go down. This one, which seems to be a popular one. It's not too naughty.
That's not
but,
naughty.
Well, there are some little ladies there doing stuff, but
That's not naughty. They're not doing anything to each
Okay.
other. They're just.
well, there's
Doing
no
things.
super naughty ones, but
Did you search naughty? Because I want to search naughty.
no, and I'm
Naughty.
afraid of what's gonna come up in our search results now on eBay.
0. It says 0. That's there's literally these red monkey company with McDonald's logos on the butt. These people are weird. Weird.
All right, we got to get back
Okay.
to questions.
They
but,
sold 2 for $50.
Yeah, I
Anyways.
totally forgot to show Nikki that.
Sorry.
But it was good that we could get it on camera.
Crazy Thrifter said that she would pay for our Ubers home if we could make the drinking podcast game happen. Have you ever gone outside of a platform to try to deal with a buyer that did a fraudulent chargeback on their credit card? eBay is refusing to help and is recommending I file a police report.
No, every time we've had that happen, they always do it through eBay, and eBay always backs us up. So I've never had it happen outside of it, and I would be cautious to do anything outside of the platform. But I mean, if eBay's suggesting you to file a police report, maybe you should.
Carol, we had a best flip conversation at the beginning of this video, so if you want to revert back, you'll be able to find that. And we do not typically promote listings on eBay. No. We had that conversation too. Do you drive a lot for sourcing? Do you track mileage and write that off?
Yes.
Yes.
Good Lord, someone said.
I hope you guys look that up right now.
No, I wouldn't.
I would.
If you're easily offended, I would not look that up.
I would rate that like
I'm just
PG
thinking about
13.
some viewers that I know we have the different comments that I've gotten. I know they would not appreciate it. So
it's naughty. It just depends what kind of lifestyle you're into. Let's phrase it like that. How do you find the sell-through rate of products before you buy them? It looks like Dusty Old Hat linked that. So,
you guys are
Amir,
the
thank
best.
you. Or Amir, Dusty Old Hat linked that for you. So thank you, Dusty Old Hat. Hey ladies, welcome from Denver. I'm not there yet.
Oh, sorry. I thought you had your finger
Who's
down
your
there.
Russian?
You had your finger down there. I want to make sure we didn't miss her comment.
Where can I find the podcast? The podcast is on YouTube. There's actually a little linky. If you go to Cayley's page, it says podcast. You can click on it, and then the podcast there. Look all up about Tina. She's phenomenal. Joyous Vintage. What's your stance on Thredup, Helpsy, Goodwill, Blue Box, etc.?
We used to sell things to Thredup, but we stopped because I had like maybe like 50 items that we held on to for several months because they weren't accepting a new inventory. So we stopped sending stuff in, and honestly, it was kind of a blessing in disguise because even though I wanted to add that, we were making some like actually like really good sales. Um, it ended up being something additional that we couldn't put a full effort into. And we talk about that a lot, but we don't want to add additional things on our plate unless we can give it a full effort. So it actually ended up being better that we just went ahead and cut thread out. As far as sourcing from Thredup, which I think might be what you may be asking, is like Thredup, Goodwill Blue Box, stuff like that. We do not source. We don't get boxes. I sometimes enjoy watching people's like unboxings of those, but they're always like super disappointed. And I think, 1 out of 10 times are you going to get good enough inventory to make it worth your time. So
Answer the questions, Cayley.
I personally steer away from it just because I know in general it's not. I could spend my time better elsewhere. I would rather go and thrift more. Like I could probably find if I spent the amount of time it took to process the Thredup box, I could probably just go to like 3 thrift stores and find a couple $100 items. You know what I mean? Some bolos.
There's some other ones.
Are there?
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know. Let's zoom in.
I'm over the RMC jeans.
I'm not. Okay, here's what got me. I'll get there in a minute. Anyways, when are you coming thrifting to Utah? Soon.
I love Utah.
I've never been there. Can we go?
It's beautiful. I don't know. Honestly, guys, we have a lot of plans in the works, right? We want to do a mentorship program. We want to do a course. We want to do one-on-one calls. Maybe Sunday do Facebook groups, stuff like that. We want to travel to go thrifting. We got all this stuff we want to do, but it takes a lot of time and effort to get there. People keep asking why I keep hiring employees. The reason is because we ain't never going to be able to do any of that if we can't remove ourselves from the work here at the office. So, working on that, things keep changing our course, I guess is what I'll say. I don't want to say bad things keep happening because a lot of good things have happened, but also things we weren't expecting have also happened. So we just keep pivoting and we'll get there eventually. It's a slow transition, but hopefully soon we'll be able to take some more trips.
If a customer doesn't receive an item when shipped through eBay, does the seller take the loss if it just doesn't show up with USPS?
If you ship outside of eBay?
No, if you ship with eBay and the buyer doesn't get it, does the seller take the loss?
It depends. In most cases, when we've had that happen, as long as your tracking shows delivered, then you don't take the loss. And I've even seen if the buyer's really persistent, eBay will give them their money back, but it won't be out of my pocket. Can't say that won't always happen, but...
What are you doing?
I was just reading what little Miss Nat just said about when you search the Reseller Recovery podcast, it doesn't pop up, but then something else did, which makes me wonder if someone has a name similar. Let me see. Reseller Data Recovery and Reseller Recovery Network did pop up though. Oh, that's helpful. Thank you. Sorry, I thought that was a bad thing for a second. I was like, oh no. We're gonna have to change the name.
No, we're not changing the name. It's not copywritten. Okay. I got sidetracked. I had to scroll down. Cayley made me scroll down.
Love the new podcast. Thank you. We had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. I look forward to them now. If you guys have any podcast topics that you want to discuss,
somebody said we should use the word hennifer.
Hennifer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you use a cross-posting software? If so, which one?
List perfectly.
Favorite slot machine? I've never been gambling in my life.
Favorite slot machine? I've been gambling, and to be honest, like I've been to a casino with like a group of friends, but all I do are slot machines because like I know how to play blackjack and poker, but I ain't gonna sit down at those tables.
Texas
Yeah.
Hold'em's where it's at.
Yeah.
I can slaughter people at that.
I only do slots when I go. I have no idea. I've only been to a casino maybe like 3 times in my whole life, so.
I think buyers are afraid to offend or waste time with a lousy offer, so they slide it in a message. I don't think they understand it still wastes our time. Yes.
I think that they're looking for loopholes and that they know that you're not accepting offers, but say that anyways. I'm a reseller. I gamble every day. Yeah.
Right? On eBay, listings by date, if you sold an item, will it still show by date on your listings? Ooh, that's a good point.
Sorry, I saw another question and got distracted. Say that again.
That Darla, who was originally asking about listings by date, if you sold them, it's no longer going to show up by the date inactive because you'd be in active listings.
Correct.
You'd have to take into consideration active and paid or active and solds. Yeah, that's a good shout out. Do you take returns on all items on eBay? How do you justify it? Returns are such a burden.
Yes, we do take returns for everything. If I can catch it, which we haven't really had items like this recently, but like if I'm selling like a wedding dress or something, if I can remember to, I'll take off returns off of that if it's something that would typically get like rented essentially. But even still, I think we have returns on everything right now. We don't typically have items like that. How do I justify it? I justify it as we offer free returns because we get a discount through eBay for providing that. It's good customer service. People look for being able to return items. And ultimately, it's going to happen anyways. Like, people can force you to allow a return even if you don't offer returns. So you might as well offer them and get the added benefits of being able to offer them. And more than likely, the amount of returns that you're going to get will not outweigh the amount of sales that you'll get by offering returns. And that's how I justify it. See a lot of laughing faces. Mm-hmm. That must have been when we were looking up those jeans.
The other pocket was so random. Joyce Vintage went and did the exact same thing I did. Bam Bam says, I've got to get myself some of them jeans. Like, if you do, please take a photo. Like, I was sourcing the other day and this guy had a really inappropriate shirt on and it had like naked women all over the back, and I was like, I would be mortified. Yeah. But also like,
power move, I guess.
You do you, buddy. Like, I literally
got some confidence.
Yelled across the street. It was like, nice shirt. Like, what else you gonna do? And they don't have women's jeans. Hi, I'm the one that asked about the 5 an hour. My actual question, and I didn't explain it right, was that you were talking about when you first started and you were stuck on only listing 5. I'm sorry, Deborah. I totally missed that question originally.
Is the question like how to push past it?
How to push past it. So you originally started with doing 5 as a new reseller. Okay. What did you do to help speed up to 20 an hour?
Everything changed because I thought that I was quick and efficient, but I actually was not. And I thought that I was spending the entire time listing, but I actually was not. It wasn't until I said, I'm going to time myself on all of these processes, that I realized that I could get 10 listings done in an hour, but it was taking me all day. So my suggestion to you would be to be completely undistracted, time yourself for every process that you do, and figure out what your average is for listing one item. And then I think you'll quickly realize that like, oh, I actually could be getting this done in an hour, but it's taking me all day. And then from there, what we did to get faster is every single year, actually it's almost like every 6 months now, I feel like, Nikki and I will sit down and we will literally write every single task that we do from start to finish. So like, not just we photograph items, it's we take a tote, we pull it to this desk, we pull them out, we cut the tabs off, we put them on hangers. Like, we write down every single thing, and then we look at it and go, what can we do? Yeah, what can we cut out? What doesn't need to be here? Or how could we not touch this item more than once? And that's how we eventually got to being able to list a lot more per hour. But don't beat yourself up about it. It does take time. It took me a while to get to where I'm listing faster, but practice makes perfect and you got to practice to get better. But I would say time yourself, be completely undistracted, see how long it should actually take you if you're undistracted. I think it'll be an eye-opener, and then from there work on cutting your processes.
If I send used clothes, I used to send clothes to Thredup. If they don't sell them, are they using those items for the boxes that people buy?
I think so. I think that's what gets put in them, or like the rejects, because like when you send something into Thredup, you can choose to either let them keep the rejects or the stuff that doesn't sell, or you can have them, you pay an extra fee for them to send the stuff back. So I think that's where the boxes happen. Thredup also, I don't know if they do now, but they never used to take men's stuff. So if someone sent in men's stuff, that also went into a Thredup box. So I think that's how it works, but I don't work there, so I'm not sure.
Dusty Old Hat says that we should give our mystery wholesale sourcer a nickname, Mrs. X or something. I'm going to call her.
She's from Texas.
Barbara.
Oh, okay. Barbara.
Her name's Barbara.
Okay.
Okay. Trina wants to know if I can make a lowballer video that we can link to all the lowball offers on eBay. And Dusty Old Hat seems game. Like a 30-second video of Nikki telling off a lowballer. That would be amazing.
I don't think I'd have customers.
It would be funny.
It would be funny.
I once received a return that was a scam. Nothing like I sent them. eBay did side with me, but at the same time, since I had the buyer's address, snail mailed a note saying what a scum they are.
That's a pretty common scam.
That's awesome, Molly.
I haven't had that happen yet. We thought that was going to happen the other day, but then we realized it actually was us. But I thought that was going to happen to us the other day.
So it sounds like we're going to Texas and then Colorado and then Arizona.
We just need to hit every state. Every state. I've been to almost every state, but I've not thrifted in almost every state.
I've been to like East Coast. I've never been out west anywhere.
It's ever. Beautiful. I used to live out west, so that's why.
You should register Reseller Recovery ASAP on Apple Podcasts or another podcast delivery platform. So it's actually a podcast name that exists in the podcast world in case we want to move it there. That's a good shout out.
Yeah, I gotta figure out Spotify and all that stuff. Someone actually asked if we have an editor for the podcast or a producer. We do not. I'm doing everything by myself right now. Everything you guys see, the videos, like I do it all. We don't have any help. I am gonna be honest. I am either going to see if Nikki or maybe someone else from my team wants to start helping me with comments on YouTube, because
I thought you meant video editing. I cannot do that.
No, I'm getting very overwhelmed with comments, and I never was someone who understood like how YouTubers didn't answer their comments. Like I guess most YouTubers don't respond to their comments. I respond to every single one in some way, and I now understand why they just stopped doing it, because it can be a lot. And so trying to respond to everybody, also Instagram messages, my goodness, I get a lot of those, trying to respond to all those. So might get some help with that soon as far as just answering comments and messages. But in general, no, it's just me. Nikki helps with some of the filming sometimes, and she actually does a lot of the closet reviews and stuff, but we don't have anybody helping us. It's just us.
Jen says that I had a buyer send an offer on the 10th. I accepted it. They didn't pay. I messaged them on the 13th. They said they weren't interested and to cancel the order. Will it affect my feedback? No. Make sure you do it as a buyer asked to cancel, because they did respond back and tell you to cancel it.
Yep.
Joyce Finches says we should make a t-shirt that says, I'm a reseller. I gamble every day. It's the perfect motto.
I like that.
If someone wants to cancel, I say, we'll bundle with another item. It won't go against you. Interesting.
On Poshmark is what they're saying.
Yeah. 215 liking and only watching and only 83 likes. Smash the like button. Thank you.
Yeah, we're getting near the end.
Please give us thumbs up if you don't mind. Fireball Flipper says there's nothing good in Arkansas. Don't bother coming here. I'm not sure if you're just trying to run us off because you don't want to share or if it's really bad. But either way, that's fine. Jessica says she can connect you with somebody to help with videos editing and stuff if you want help sometime. I've always wanted to visit Crystal.
Sorry, send me in. I can't guarantee it because I honestly have a lot of people reaching out for that in companies. So I guess it would depend. But if you want to send us an email, it should be in the description or the Linktree.
Paula's Palooza said that she'd be willing to help Zoom with you to walk you through Spotify and signing up for podcasts and stuff if you needed help.
Oh, thanks. I think I can figure it out. I just have not sat down to do it yet. But
I think that's it.
You should send us an email just in case I do need to reach out.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we've hit the end of the chat. So anybody have any other last minute questions that you want answered? Now is your chance. You have 2 minutes. At 11:40, I'm disappearing. Any other last minute questions? Any other last minute thumbs up? Only 98 people watching this video like us. That's sad. That's like not even half. That's not a good sell-through rate.
Would love to see you guys thrift in Arkansas. Maybe I'm doing it wrong.
No, I doubt that.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to get off here. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for the questions. It's been a fun conversation. Appreciate you guys getting on and all your kind words.
Come back for the podcast on Friday featuring Claudette.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
You got to do your heart.
Oh.